Hey guys, welcome back. And thank you for being here once again. I'm back with the chapter 4, the fourth chapter of the book. The book is called The Purpose of Life and the A.D.A.T Theory. A.D.A.T comes from awareness, decision, ability, and talent. And it's all about how to work on your circumstances through art. For those of you who are new here and do not know me yet, my name is Raluca Sandu. I haven't mentioned, I guess, in the other videos, but I am in the last year, I'm studying in the last year at the psychology faculty here in Timișoara, and we have gathered here today, to discuss about my book and the benefits you can get from it. I will read from the fourth chapter, Blessings of Illness. Okay, or ways in which an illness can be a blessing and a teacher for us rather than a killer. So without further ado, I would open this chapter with the following idea. The mental baggage we grow up with induces us the idea that we are somehow inadequate, different, or weird, just because we have an illness or certain particularities, or because our social skills are not at their best. However, for a better understanding of what normal means, and according to other psychological researchers, this graphic by Florin Tudose should shed some light on the topic. Right, there's this graphic. Here, okay. This graphic talks about the normality criteria after Ellis and Diamond. And they mention here 13 points. And the first one says a clear conscience of the personal self, capacity, second word, capacity to guide oneself in life, a high tolerance to frustration, self-acceptance, flexibility in acting and thinking, realism and grounded thought process, assuming responsibility for one's emotional issues, engaging in creative actions, a moderate and cautious engagement in risky situations, awareness in terms of social interest, realistic thinking, accepting uncertainty and the capacity of adjusting it, combining the immediate pleasures with those in perspective, right? Remember that that video with children on the internet where they were promised to receive another candy if they waited. And not eat the one they had until the researcher would come. That's about combining immediate pleasures with those in perspective. A part of. So moving forward with the explanation, normality, therefore, health and especially mental health in our case, seems to be an extended synthesis, complex result of a high number of parameters of the organic and social life, which projects itself on the genetic model of the individual's existence morphologically and functionally unaltered in his life history. The manifestation of this healthy state of mind may be the existence of a realistic and logical judgment and a clear vision of the world, doubled by the presence of a social and psychological discipline, built on the base of the joy to live and the balance between introversion and extroversion. Okay, Florin Tudose, a Romanian researcher and professor of psychology. And the thing is with this criteria of normality and how illness can be a blessing is that, as I said here, you know, we grow up in a pattern. We cannot avoid patterns in our life. So we grow up in a certain pattern, no matter if it's good or bad. And that pattern kind of defines our normality. So if I grew up, let's say, in the pink pattern, although I don't want pink, but you get the point. And someone else, I meet someone else that grew up in a purple pattern, let's say, or in a I don't know, gray pattern, red pattern, let's say a red pattern, okay? they will look at me saying like, okay, something's off with you, you're not right, and you have these very light shades of, I don't know what color is that. Where are you from? Where are you coming from? I can't get. I can get your point. I mean, you know. So that's the thing, that growing up in different patterns makes us look to other people like they're not normal, because they don't have what we consider to be normal. And this happens mostly with groups, you know. If we um, if we are part of a certain group, or let's say with our friends, right? You see that it's very hard to let someone else in from the outside, because it's very hard to find people that share similar patterns to us, or especially healthy patterns. And then when we meet someone else, or we feel that someone else wants to enter our group, or be part of our group, we feel it like a threat somehow. Like, what does that person want? Why did they came here? What did they ask you? What happened? What with them? You know, we feel it like some sort of threat, just because we see them as being part of a different pattern than we are used to. So most times when you find yourself questioning or doubting yourself that you're not normal, let's say, or what other people would dictate to you that normal is, think it like that, or imagine it like that. They're brought up in a completely different pattern than yours, and that they cannot see your colors, okay, which probably are beautiful and amazing and unique. And they cannot see your colors, and that is not your fault, and neither is their fault, right? You just have to continue looking for those who share your colors. But moving forward from this, no matter where you have lived, no matter who told you you're inadequate or that there's something wrong with you, you have to realize that normality has certain indicators as seen above, and the only thing you may be wrong with is if you consider yourself not fitting inside the box, as in certain social parameters, right? So as I said about the patterns, there's nothing wrong with you if you don't fit the pattern. It means you have a unique set of qualities that define your own personal pattern, and that you should try to be oriented, to be more oriented towards fitting that pattern, as long as it is healthy. If it's not completely healthy, then maybe you have some parts to heal, wounds like from abuse or other issues, but don't do it trying to fit into someone else's box. Do it to fit in your personal own box, to balance yourself, to regulate yourself emotionally, and only then people that will share your own colors and similar patterns with yours will come your way. Okay, so as mentioned earlier in this book, pain and suffering are part of everyday life, and growth cannot take place in their absence. Okay, growth cannot take place in the absence of suffering and pain, because grow from what? If you don't have pain and suffering, you will grow from what? From what? Not, you don't, if you're okay, if you're like blank, you don't see certain things as painful, that push you further in life, you don't have what to grow from. Okay, so that's the core how should I say? Yeah, the core necessity of evolution, of us being pushed forward in life, is to have something to fight for, and to fight with, and not against ourselves, but to fight to balance ourselves, right, and to integrate ourselves into a specific healthier mindset. Okay, can an illness of any kind make life more difficult for you? Yes, it can. Can you be forced to change your way of doing things because of that? Definitely. But that doesn't make you weird in any way. Remember that difficulties are meant to make us stronger and build us up as to come as to become the best version of ourselves, but only if we make the right decisions along the way. So everything is based on a decision. You have to see and then try to not unsee the things that you have seen, do not ignore them, and then decide to grow from there. Okay, but only if we make the right decisions along the way. If you have experienced an illness, it may have been the only way through which you could have met certain people, develop certain talents, achieve better in certain ways, or give up negative environments and habits. Don't get discouraged. Life never takes without giving something back, and most times there are more blessings than tragedies. Okay, so the thing is that we as human beings, if things are, let's say, fine in different ways or in all possible ways, we get comfortable. Oh, it's fine, we're good. It's comfortable. We don't want to do things. You know, our brain perceives effort as a threat. So that's why most times when we are faced with an illness, with a difficulty, with something, we are like, okay, so what's this? How can I get out of this? I don't want this pain. You know, that tendency to block or to like defend from what's happening. But the point is not to defend, but to embrace. And once you embrace things, miracles happen. Okay, only then you can see the lesson. Only then you can, I mean, you can accept that what's happening to you is normal. Like, well-being is normal, difficulties are normal, pain is normal, lessons are normal, progressing is normal. What is not normal is not doing anything and being like in, let's say, not stable state, because I can put it like that, but what is not, let's say, normal is just not doing nothing. That's not healthy, and that's according to my pattern. Okay, that's, let's say, according to my pattern. Not doing nothing with our lives, that's not healthy. Challenges, good challenges are healthy. Bad challenges, which is staying stuck in drama and low value environments, that's not healthy and that's not helpful. Okay, so remember that difficulties are meant to make us stronger and build us up as to become the best version of ourselves. I'm this way, but only if we make the right decisions along the way. Okay, humans are complex beings. Each attempt of individual standardization leads to a forcing failure. According to A.D.A.T, page 21. As we've seen so far, being beautiful is much more than just a pretty face. It takes time, education, and willpower to control the things that seem to control us. As time goes by, no matter our background or social and emotional problems, we have to stand tall and face everything. Do we want to be the victim or the hunter? That's the question we need to ask ourselves. Okay, too fast one reading this paragraph, but you get the point. So it's a choice. Are you the victim or are you the hunter? And as a hunter, you need to establish what is the purpose of your trip. Once you know what you're aiming for, you will know what you have to do in order to win and or learn during the process. Before talking about how can an illness become a blessing, we need to understand this concept from two different perspectives. Okay, illness of the soul and illness of the body. The illness of the soul results from all the aspects I mentioned before: background, self-esteem, lack of emotional balance, etc., and can be noticed in one's behavior, reactions, and mentality. The illness of the body can sometimes be a source of inspiration and leads to a better understanding of our mind, body, and soul, and the world that surrounds us, only if we pay enough attention to it. So the thing is that it's all like a scale, you know, it's As I discussed with someone recently, first of all, everything happens in our mind. Then from our mind, it transcends into our soul, it becomes emotion, and then it becomes an illness. So all this is normal, as I said, but the point is how you see it and how you perceive it. If you go into the victim mindset, like, oh my gosh, what happened to me, and be rageful and all that, or if you go into the hunter mentality and you look at it, okay, like what's the lesson here? What do I have to learn? What did I do wrong emotionally or on an energy level or in my mind, right? What lesson did I got wrong that I have to go through this illness now? Okay, you embrace the illness as a side effect of what you wrongly understood, but you you focus on the lesson and you focus on turning around whatever behavior, let's say, that was misintegrated, misunderstood, misinterpreted, led you to this illness. Because there's this other point. You see, maybe you know cases or situations where people had an illness and then suddenly they were good and kind and thoughtful and became like they turned around 180 degrees. That's the point. I mean, okay, if we didn't learn things in time, we still have one last chance to learn them through an illness, and that's the blessing of it. Okay, so do not despair, hold on, be strong, look for the illness, pray, forgive, give, be generous, and you will hopefully turn the tides, and you will hopefully let's say restart your own life. And even if it's something more severe, even if that may be your bottom line, let's say the end of the road here on earth, you will still be you can still be grateful and still be somehow grateful, I guess it's the proper word, that you got the chance to turn around and that you will continue your journey after you leave this earth, this world, in a more positive way and in a more thoughtful manner, with a higher level of conscious, and knowing that you had the chance to turn the tide, to change things, to change yourself, and you did as much as you could on the in the last moments. And I got a little bit maybe too deep into this, but it's all on the attitude, you know. It's all on how you receive things. I've discussed with some friends that were doctors, and they would say, "Oh, yeah, there's a huge difference between how someone receives the bad news and how that news is delivered to them." Also, you know, where doctors give you a diagnosis and they just say it like they throw a rock at you, and how you perceive it then. And there's also a difference when they are more empathetic and how you receive it then, like with a little bit more optimism, like this is a process, this is not my end or the end of my days, or if you don't take it as a fatality. And I'm saying this because the problem is that generally we are not prepared to see illness in such a way. This is because most of the time we take life for granted and think that health is our normal state of being. We are so caught in the assumption that sometimes deep down in our ego, we find it difficult to accept that an illness could happen to us. We develop a sort of frustration mixed with self-pity and this is the end kind of thinking. And we give up everything and wait in agony until that situation really becomes the end, whether this might be through death or simply the death of our life's perspective. And I'm saying here that once you lose your goals, you lose all of your battles. That's also an interesting point here. And not because I wrote it, but because we tend to do, or at least sometimes I admit I tend to do the same thing in difficult situation. I go to a difficult situation and it paralyzes me. And I'm like, okay, what to do? I'm stuck in the pain. I'm stuck in that awful feeling of helplessness that I cannot control the situation. And that's it. And I don't do anything to pass that time in a constructive way, So this is the difference that we truly make. We can truly make to try to use the time that we have intentionally in a constructive matter, in a constructive way. And we can do that by not letting go of our goals, even if you are considered, I don't know, people do not consider you normal for several reasons, even if you have an illness of some sort. Stick to your goals. Don't let them die just because you have a diagnosis or just because you have certain I don't know, obstacles along the way. Seek for help, delegate, ask for people to help you to do certain parts of the project or of your goals for you, if it's possible and if it's suitable and you need it. Okay, so that's the main thing. Don't lose your goals, stick with them. It doesn't matter how fast you do them, it only matters that you do them. It's not the pace that matters, right? The rhythm, but what matters is to continue to do them because it gives you purpose and it doesn't keep you in the feeling that, oh my God, I'm helpless, I'm useless, there's no meaning for everything, there's no point of doing anything and whatever. No, whatever challenge you have in life, just have at least one goal, do something, focus on something, something that will get you out of your mind. Be there for someone else if necessary, but just continue working on something. It gives you purpose and meaning, and even if you don't finish it for whatever reasons, or for reasons of illness, or if you can finish it when you put in your mind to finish it, you at least have something that you can be reminded for, and that people will know, look, he started to work on this, or at least maybe if it's an illness that kind of puts you to go back and forth in life, for it's in seasons or whatever. Just start, just have something to go back to when the good season comes again. Okay, have something to go back to work on. It can be the simplest thing as a puzzle, for that sake, or it can be like a writing project, or I don't know, something you make out of wood, pictures, whatever. The whole concept of this book, I don't know, different concepts of this book, but one of the main, it says the purpose of life and the theory of order, decision, ability, talent, how to overcome your circumstances through art. It's all about, we all have abilities, we all have some sides of us that are artistic or less artistic or practical in different ways. Like you can, like as I said earlier, you can be a good photographer, or good, you can be good at sculpture or at writing or at doing puzzle or cooking or creating recipes, or I don't know. We all have a lot of skill sets, and if you don't know your skill set, get some pen and paper and write down what you're good at. What did you like to do from the beginning, since you were a little kid? Put like on that paper the origin and the concept, right? Kada, no, Kada, sorry, that's in Romanian. A.D.A.T. You can name one column A.D., like abilities and decision. Wait a second. No, awareness, decision, ability, and talent. Awareness and decision, A.D. Ability and talent, A.T. So that's your two columns. Like awareness, you can put the things that you like to do, right? That you know you're good at. Then decision, what course you can do with them, if possible, or what you can practically do with them. Ability, right? How you can build up on that and how can you practice it daily, and talent, okay? And how like you can see the evolution from ability to like practicing it daily and it becomes a talent, or you can go backwards from the talent, like, you know, painting, writing, whatever, and move it from just a talent to an ability because you practice it daily, and because it gives you purpose. It can be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, whatever the time, but just get something to do daily, to have purpose and to stay focused and not lose your goals, because once you lost your goals, you lost all your battles, as I said here, okay? Once you use your goals, you use all your battles. I don't know if you can see it clearly, probably not, but you will see it very clearly once you get your copy of the book in paperback or the Kindle version. And you will find the links below in the in the description for only $5. I don't know, $5.50 or $5.25, less than a copy almost. Okay, and in the end, the last part of this chapter, it says, because we are never prepared, the moment an illness takes up our lives, we realize that we have been already fed up with all the chaos inside us, as a consequence of our background emotional troubles or things we are used to face in our daily routine. With this state of mind, when we see a negative diagnosis, the only thought that enters our mind is perfect, just perfect. Getting sick is the only thing that was missing. For an average person, this is a normal reaction, but keep in mind that the goal is not to be average, but to be better, okay? Better than we were yesterday as human beings. Once you're done procrastinating, remember, the stairs are still in front of you. Keep climbing them, okay? So this was the 4th chapter of the book. This book can guide you and can help you towards becoming a more beautiful person on the inside, being aware of your talents, making you feel normal no matter what the struggles you had, and building happiness from inside out, and learning how to stay balanced in hard times. So we have 4 chapters and 4 lessons, 4 important lessons that could help you go through difficult times and gain information that will stay with you, not only until you finish the book, but also after that, for a lifetime. Okay. Thank you for listening once again. Don't forget to grab your copy of the book in the description, and you can find the links in the description. Thank you for being here, and stay tuned for the following videos because we still have 2 more chapters to discuss. Okay, and have a nice time and take care. Bye.